Hey guys, thanks for tuning in for another episode of The Pipeline, trying to pipeline Christ across North Dakota and anywhere that would have us. So I've been working on a little bit of a study and some different things in life, and I landed in actually Galatians 5. And Galatians 5 and the fruit of the Spirit is oftentimes not taught about very often because it's used so often as like in kids ministry and with kids and different things. And I think if that's the only place we ever do it, or the only place that we ever spend time in there is for the kids' sake, that we really miss the opportunity for God to teach us in some different things. And so I've had a lot of questions. How do you know you're walking in the Spirit? What does it mean to be in the Spirit? How do you know that you're in God's will? And the fruit of the Spirit is that. But in studying it and reading it, because I've been really spending a lot of time reflecting on myself, reflecting in the things that I'm doing and choosing to do and the directions I'm headed in life. And with that, I want to be walking in the Spirit. And I've taught on this passage. I've taught kids, I've taught youth, I've taught adults, taught myself. But this is the first time that I've ever read this, that it came across very different for me. And maybe that's because I'm different in life, or maybe God just needed to reveal something specific to me right now. But I want to read this to you, and it says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against all these things there is no law. Those who belong to Christ Jesus have crucified the flesh with its passion and desire. Since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit. Let us not become conceit, provoking, envying of each other." Now, in reading that, it gets real easy, like, oh yeah, I've got joy today, I've got peace today, I've got this, I've got that. Well, what are the differences in our own wrong desires versus the fruit of the Spirit's desire? Well, as the flesh, oftentimes there's parts of us that want evil things. What is the fruit of the Spirit? It's good. What about in our own desires? We have destructiveness. And the fruit of the Spirit, it's productive. You know, we can easily be ignited in not having that self-control or that patience. And when you're in the Spirit, you have double portions of grace and mercy and patience and the ability to do that stuff. You know, oftentimes we're self-centered in the flesh. When, if you want to know if you're in the fruit of the Spirit, then you're more self-giving. You know, and these are all the things that we have to work through. But it's so easy to say, yeah, I'm doing this one in my life, or yeah, I'm working on that one, or you know what, that's not me today. But this was the first time that I ever read this and noticed that it wasn't that each of them were individual, that it is them as a whole. And what I mean by that is it says, but the fruit of the Spirit is. That means it's all of them together. That if you truly want the fruit of the Spirit, it's talking about fruit as in singular, not plural. That if you want to be walking in the will of the Spirit, you want to be in the Spirit, then all of those have to be happening in your life. So how do you do that? It's tough. It's reflection. And reflection is hard for us. You know, we can sit here and we can look in the mirror and we can look at different things on the outside, but how willing are we really to look on the inside? You know, it's the idea of submission and surrender. So oftentimes I can submit in my actions, but I can grumble and I can think this is awful and horrible and I don't want to do this and this is ridiculous. Well, that's not the submission and surrender that the Lord is looking for, because submission is heart, mind, body, soul, strength. It's all of us encompassing. So not only would we submit with our actions, but we would submit with our thoughts, with our heart, with every part of our being. Then we can have the fruit of the Spirit come out of our life. And that's something that we should all want in our life. So my prayer is that you would become the fruit. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you down the pipeline.